Richmond police are still searching for whoever pulled the trigger, but we're told they were called to Creighton Court just after midnight. When they arrived, they found a man who was unresponsive. Part of this gas station has actually toppled over. It originally looked like it was part of the roofing here at this DC Express, but if you keep walking, you can clearly see that it's actually part of the gas pump. A lot of shattered glass in that neighborhood the past couple days, Drew. Police believe the damage is from BB guns. I can smell it in the air, Sarah. I mean, there's tons of pineapples all on the ground here. Pretty remarkable to imagine that the driver and his 2 dogs were able to make it out of this tractor trailer alive. Dealing with the unthinkable after a bus carrying a junior league team crashes, killing 15 and leaving more than a dozen injured. They were naturally curious about active shooter situations, but police also addressed simple concerns like locking church doors and keeping parking lots well lit. Now, there were multiple police officers investigating this morning, but they've yet to specify whether or not that woman was shot inside or outside one of those buildings. I spoke to a man today who owns both this laundromat and the other around the corner. He said he's seen the suspect perusing around both locations. On your side, Alex Whittler, NBC 12 News. Oh, okay, I'm done. It's time to shower. Sheriff is working to euthanize the dogs that he says are large and trained to fight. Meanwhile, friends say there's no way the very dogs who slept with this young woman in her own bed killed her.
It appears she was taken to the ground, lost consciousness, and the dogs then mauled her to death.
That's Sheriff James Agnew. He says 22-year-old Bethany Stevens' dogs fatally attacked her while she was walking them.
There were no strangulation marks. The victim had puncture wounds in the skull, and this was not a homicide.
Stevens' friends, though, say that account just doesn't add up.
They would not attack her. They'd basically kill you with kisses.
It all started when Stevens' father called 911 saying he hadn't seen his daughter in nearly 2 days. He went to look for her in the woods where she often walked her dogs. That's where he found her, not yet knowing he had stumbled upon the gruesome scene of her tragic death. We're told Stevens weighed about 120 pounds, and each of her dogs did too. That's a combined total of nearly 250 pounds and more than twice her size.
In my 40 years of law enforcement, I've never seen anything quite like it. Hope I never see anything like it again.
Barbara Norris says she's one of Stevens' good friends.
The only time they got aggressive is if they thought there was a threat going towards her. The wounds on her hands and possibly her face and throat were probably trying to get her away from whatever was attacking her.
She says she's going to do whatever it takes to make sure investigators have exhausted all possibilities.
When we went to the kennels looked like they had been broken open. Like the dog saw something going on and went to go help her.
The sheriff stressed these findings are not the final results and that the medical examiner will have to get toxicology, which he says can take some time. The last we heard from that friend, she was speaking to investigators so they can determine whether there's more to this story. We'll be sure to keep you updated. Just 6 months ago, Kevon White thought he needed a whole new kidney. Now he's competing to become $1 million richer on American Ninja Warrior. You can call him the Midlothian Ninja.
Can't believe it's happening.
Kevon White is showing us the signature move that got him on American Ninja Warrior. Just a few years ago, the show wasn't even on Kevon's mind. He wanted to play football, but an ankle injury dashed those dreams. And only a few months ago, his passion for working out left him with poisoned kidneys. But Kevon again bounced back. Working out helps him heal both physically and emotionally.
I was actually homeless for a couple years. Ended up getting adopted when I was in high school by one of my high school teachers. Now I live here in Richmond, Virginia with my beautiful wife.
Family and friends say he's surpassing his goals because he's inspiring others.
He's a person who wants to help other people.
Helping somebody that has been through what he has been through.
White has taken his pain, put it into purpose, and now he hopes it pays off with American Ninja Warrior.
So the process started back in November. I had to submit an audition tape, the salmon ladder, and different things, the warp walls.
Videos of the show Salmon Ladder seem to go viral every season. Kevon makes it look easy, but I tried it for myself, and believe me, it's not. But his story proves if you keep trying, you're bound to see improvement. And his support system is only speaking positive things into existence. We should be looking out for you too on the side with that sign.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have the face paint, the crazy one on the side like, yeah.
I looked up Chesterfield County Public Schools parent handbook myself, and it clearly says students can't have over-the-counter prescription drugs even if they're prescribed. But I spoke to that parent, and he says his child isn't perfect, but this punishment is too tough. This is Sarah.
She is in all honors classes.
Band, algebra 2, Spanish.
She's left to study for her 8 classes at Elsie Bird High at home because she's been suspended for 9 weeks for having off-brand Tylenol in her backpack. And with Thanksgiving and winter break approaching, that means she likely won't be back in class until February.
Are you going to tell me teenagers don't have cramps? They don't get headaches?
That's Sarah's father, Jason. He says he understands the school's policy. It says, quote, "No student may have any over-the-counter drug, even if recommended or prescribed for the student's use. Possessing, using, distributing, or receiving over-the-counter drugs by a student is prohibited and may result in disciplinary action as determined by the principal."
My kid's not perfect. Don't claim for it to be. But the system is also not perfect.
We reached out to Chesterfield County Public Schools. A spokesperson told us the district can't comment on disciplinary action. Jason admits this isn't Sarah's first suspension. She had marijuana last year and was suspended for several days, not months.
And for them to claim a second drug suspension over Tylenol, I just don't get it.
Sarah says this punishment is especially tough.
It sucks.
Because she's worked to turn things around since her first incident.
Next year I wanted to do the tech center, but I know now that they're not going to accept me if I got suspended for 3 months.
Robin McDougall, a criminal justice professor at VCU, says both Chesterfield County Public Schools and the family have valid points.
The school has every right, authority, and ability to do that. If I were the parents, I would be articulating my concern with the purpose of removing my child from the school setting for 9 weeks can have a detrimental impact on her education.
McDougall also says schools have to come up with fair punishments for possession of illegal drugs and over-the-counter ones, respectively.
We're supposed to be helping these kids grow. What is she supposed to do sitting here for 3 months? I mean, besides be depressed.
I spoke to a man today who owns both this laundromat and the other around the corner. He said he's seen the suspect perusing around both locations, and that unsettled a couple of the people we spoke with today. But now, thanks to surveillance video, police are getting involved. The mission is simple.
He likes to wait outside in his car for an attractive female to come in and do her laundry. Then he walks in and grabs some articles of clothing, so you can kind of piece together the rest.
The execution?
It's just really bizarre.
That's according to customers and laundromat store owner Al Bingenheimer. His surveillance video shows this man, Timothy Lott, thumbing through loads of laundry.
You know, I got a phone call from a customer. She said, hey, somebody took some of my clothing.
So Bingenheimer checked his security cameras. He says he originally thought the man was confused and just trying to remember which machine he used. But Bingenheimer noticed Lott has frequented both locations. And then he found this video, which shows an incident that took place at the laundromat on Strawberry Street back in August. You can see him here, stopping the washing machine mid-cycle, reaching into it, grabbing a pair of underwear, and pocketing them while they're still wet.
It's weird.
The video also shows him sneaking out the back door before he takes off in a blue sedan. But if you take a quick glance around either of Bingenheimer's locations, you'll see numerous security cameras.
Maybe that's the thrill. It's the getting in, getting out without getting caught.
Customers we spoke to weren't aware police are searching for a panty snatcher, but they say they'll take extra precautions.
Last time I came, I just stayed here and did my laundry. I didn't leave or anything.
You know what? The Fan and the Museum District is a great place to live, and we want to keep it that way. So when we have situations like this, we want to take it seriously and give the authorities what they need to make it happen.
No, this isn't a white Christmas.
Goodness gracious.
That's foam from when Chesterfield crews extinguished a massive fire on Hendricks Road near Hull Street around 7 a.m. Christmas morning.
Burned everything up in here.
We're told it took more than an hour to get the flames under control, and the damage is so bad, it's burned all the items in one unit to a crisp, including a large motorcycle. Andy Scherer still had his Santa hat on as he assessed the damage.
Everything's destroyed. Wow.
He said he was enjoying his Christmas breakfast when someone called to tell him the fire charred his 1988 red IROC Z convertible.
We rode it around for a while. Every summer, all summer, we'd ride it around. The car was absolutely beautiful.
Of all the things in the sharer's space,
It's all smoky, but it's there.
it's the photo album of the car's restoration that's untouched. Do you think there's anything you can do to salvage it?
No, ma'am. Just looking, if I just peek in under here, I see the windshield's all burned up and all the interiors and stuff, the steering wheel, everything is burnt.
Even family heirlooms like these paintings.
My mother left these to me in her will. God bless her.
At least 14 small business owners also use these storage units. What isn't scorched is drenched from the efforts to douse the fire, while the sharers and other tenants are now left to troubleshoot their loss.
God, my wife's going to be destroyed. All our possessions were in here.